Alright guys, things have officially gotten really weird over at Kotaku with you-know-who. So, just to kind of catch everybody up, Kotaku is a very miserable, pathetic excuse of a gaming website, you know, as far as gaming journalism goes. They've been recently laying off people. They've had a lot of this controversy about whether or not they should go back to actually making video game guides and talking about video games, or if they should keep putting out the same dribble and garbage that only appeals to a very small demographic of people who are not gamers, if you know what I'm saying. So, that being said, Kotaku has recently laid off, I believe it's about 4 more staff members, one of which, you'll probably remember, is the person that wrote this article, Stellar Blade's Eve is hottest when she's not revealing everything. Now, this was written by Levi Winslow, who I've interacted with several times on a lot of this Sweet Baby Inc. stuff, a lot of the garbage with all this wokeness and DEI crap. And ironically, he's been complaining for a long time about how hard it is being a game journalist. And I told him, hey, learn how to code. And he's like, well, I know how to code. And I was like, great. Then you shouldn't be worried. You know, you should have a job lined up as soon as you're done being a games journalist. And sure enough, he was laid off. Now, I'm going to not attack him too hard because I know he's been recently laid off and that sucks for him. But this guy is writing about how Stellar Blade is, how Eve is best when she's not revealing as much skin. And I'm pretty sure this guy swings the other way. So I'm not quite sure why we keep seeing these articles from people who are not heterosexuals, or at least, hell, lesbian or bisexual women, talking about what's desirable when it comes to the female form and body. Like, why don't you talk to people who are actually interested in that type of woman if you want an honest opinion about what is and is not attractive? So, moving on, Kotaku has had a big mess with this unhinged lunatic, Alyssa Mercante. If you've never interacted with this woman, you probably wouldn't know how insane she can act, but she has most of us blocked. I have to use my third Twitter account just to see her posts. She has attacked gamers, blocked people, harassed people, lied about people, misrepresented, misquoted people, and she has been attacking Mark Kern and anybody who has criticized Helldivers 2 and Sony for adding in the PlayStation Network account requirements, all this crap. And so she really just loves to call gamers a bunch of whining, crying man babies and say how you can't be racist against white people and all these completely wacko opinions she has. So here she is in this article from That Park Place talking about how Mark Kern, talking about how she doesn't love to see the Arrowhead CEO replying to the same woman who thinks the United Nations is making your games woke. Now, this is talking about Savvy Artist on Twitter, who's been very instrumental in creating and documenting a lot of these Twitter threads where we have a lot more information at our fingertips about these topics currently. She says, if you loudly defended your community managers, Asylum Barbie, talking about Savvy Artist again, would know where you stand and would probably not be politely pinging you. And again, she's criticized people who have gone after these community managers for Helldivers, despite the fact that many of these people are completely insane left-wing extremists who have even said that grummz, Mark Kern, is a sexual predator with no proof. Of course, there's absolutely no proof of this. And they've said outright that they're just here to ban gamers, people that they don't like, transphobes, racists, you name it. So she has even gone so far with this guy from Farm Folks, the game, of course, that you remember having the unfortunate tweet about jiggle physics. She did this hour-long interview with him and then wrote an article basically saying how he hates gamers, hates Mark Kern, hates grummz, he doesn't like incels, basically misrepresenting this poor man. And he's not even from the United States originally. His English is very good, but it's not his first language. So he went on with Dread Roberts on YouTube and clarified a lot of his statements. You should go check out the video. He did a very nice job. Took 2 hours and let the man just speak from his own heart and share his opinions. So it was a really good interview, so kudos to him. So now we have Smash JT, who is a YouTuber who I'd never heard of. I actually saw him like one of my posts on Twitter yesterday or 2 days ago, which was the first time I've ever interacted with him on Twitter. But now we have him being attacked by Alyssa Mercante of Kotaku, and you see this tweet from him here saying, "Hey Kotaku, one of your writers, Alyssa Mercante, is currently harassing me and is now DMing my wife on Facebook. This is completely unacceptable behavior and way out of bounds. Reprehensible. Do you stand by this type of behavior?" And of course, he CC'd grummz on this because I know grummz is probably blocked too. And the tweet that he's got a screenshot of right here, it's Alyssa Mercante saying, anyway, I found your wife's Facebook and asked what she thinks about the husband of her children harassing women online and laughing when they share that someone they're supporting has been threatening to end them for weeks. And we'll get into this part in a second. So further down here, he's like, I just had to explain to my wife why you hired a former sex worker that has become an unhinged activist posing as a, quote, journalist. And this is, again, something that Alex Koshelkov from Farm Folks from Creativo, the studio, pointed out in his interview with Red Roberts that Alyssa went as far as to say that she herself is a far left-leaning individual. And he's like, well, if you're a reporter, why do I need to know your politics? Why are you telling me this information? You should just be reporting on the story. I shouldn't be hearing about your politics, okay? I think that's a very fair point. Kabrutus asked him, dude, that's effed up. What did she tell your wife? And JT says she wrote a very, very long message that could be summed up as just an unhinged rampage rambling. Alyssa is unwell. I'm honestly scared. And so you'll see here that he, part of why she's mad at him is he started this online petition, which I think is kind of silly. I don't really care. It's like, fine, so, sign the petition if you want to. It's not going to do anything. GO Media, who owns Kotaku, is the one that used to own Deadspin, who got sued over that story about the kid that went to the Chiefs game with the half red, half black face paint. So GO Media is going to be shutting all these websites down sooner rather than later. We do not need a petition to shut down Kotaku, but if you feel like signing it, go ahead. I hate Kotaku as much as the next person, so go for it. But again, a lot of this has been spurred on because he has been sharing this hashtag in Kotaku, and you can see it right here in the screenshot that Alyssa has. And of course, she's shared this screenshot and says, I don't know, I wouldn't love if my husband was doing this. And it's a screenshot of JT saying, I never thought I'd get so much pleasure over Alyssa Mercante spurging out about me, but here we are. Now she slid into my DMs like a bitch. I'm married, get the F out of here. And she responded to that and said, so you think it's funny that you platformed a man threatening to kill me? And this is where we get into the real interesting, weird part of the story. She apparently has talked about how he platformed this man, right? The man in question is this YouTuber. I don't even know this person. Says he's got this thumbnail that says Hellsweeper Wrath update with anti-woke mod, and it's got a revolver pointed at a picture of Alyssa Mercante. I don't know who this person is. I don't know what their opinions are. I'm not endorsing or condemning them. I just don't know. And then you see this one that says threat to America, and it's got her in the thumbnail again. Other than that, he's got one that talks about a virtual reality execution, and this is it right here. And says, Taking America Virtual is the Twitter account. Alyssa Mercante should have a good cover photo for this. How do the gamers feel about some spicy gaming news from our friend over here? Hashtag in Kotaku. And it just says virtual reality execution. Hi Kotaku, and it's got Alyssa misspelled. I don't mean to be mean to this person. Typos like this, doesn't speak well for somebody who's actually trying to promote themselves on YouTube. But again, I've had typos too. I have the good grace, to go and fix it. But that's neither here nor there. So again, she has a big issue with this guy, and so JT retweeted this guy, and that's caused this whole issue. As of course, she's being called out by a lot of people on Twitter saying, this is vile, next level psycho female behavior on display right here. Kotaku, this is cool with you. Is there a checkbox for crazy on the DEI hiring checklist now? Hypnotic pointed out that she's, the stunning and brave creative director at Grimoire. Oh, sorry, this is another person endorsing what she said. Stunning and brave creative director at Grimoire says that Alyssa Mercante is doing the right thing by targeting gamers' families and anyone who disagrees with the narrative the mainstream industry provides. He is encouraging it and wants to see more people in the industry track down significant others and mothers to string them up in front of them. This is the mainstream gaming industry. The masks have come off the psychopaths. When pushed into a corner, they will always show their true colors. Pathetic. And you can see this guy here, Paul Scott Canavan, saying, this is absolutely the play. We should be doing this with all these weird creeps, track down their significant others and mothers and string them up. I mean, that sounds worse than anything I've heard anyone say about Alyssa Mercante. And in JT's video today, which you should go watch, in fact, I'll link to it. I'll put that in the comments down below, and I'll pin it at the very top. You can see this DM that he shared from Facebook where she messaged his wife. And this is Alyssa Mercante speaking to his wife, says, I can't speak to the nature of your relationship or what kind of a father he is, but I certainly wouldn't want my partner harassing women online over video games and platforming the people that are threatening to end them. It seems like something he shouldn't be so invested in at his age. Have a good one. And Alyssa Mercante, ironically, is the kind of person to point out people's age when let's be fair, I'm sure she is much closer to 40, if not over 40, than she would like to let on. And I do not believe that she has any children at home. She claims to have a fiance or something. I mean, I'm shocked if it's actually a man. She doesn't seem to fit the stereotype for somebody who would actually marry a heterosexual male. But maybe I'm wrong. I mean, maybe she's actually into strong men and this is just her projecting. I don't know. But I think it is really sad that she goes after Mark Kern for his age, talks about his wife, his kids, all this stuff. When the reality is, maybe she's just having empty nest syndrome. Maybe she's just feeling a little like left out since she's probably too old to have kids at this point. I don't know. All I know is Alyssa is the last shrieking, dying gasp of a failing industry that is running out of money, that people aren't taking seriously, and she better be careful or she's not just going to get Kotaku sold off and dismantled even faster. She's likely to get herself sued in the long term. Let me know what you guys think about all this. I will see you down in the comments below. Have a good one. All right, and if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for being here. I do have 2 channels, Minimal Effort Podcast, as well as my gaming channel. I do have a Twitch and Kick for my gaming channel. We do live streams over there occasionally, maybe once a week. And then if you are in the market for a new PC, make sure to check out Meta PCs. Click the link I have down below. Use code TBO at checkout for a special discount. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you next time.